War. War never changes. What? What do you mean I'm covering the wrong courier? Ah, we're covering the glorified ice physics delivery boy. Well, in that case. How yin's doing? I'm an Ian, and this is my Streets of Rogue character guide to the Courier. The Courier is unlocked via the Character Pack DLC, meaning like the previously covered Alien and Mech Pilot characters, you need to pay extra if you wish to play them. No, getting shined ahead is not a factor. As for his description, it reads, "In a world where teleportation is a thing, why would anyone need a courier to deliver packages by hand? Simple, sometimes items can shift around in weird ways during teleportation. Not like the fly or anything like that, more along the lines of gravy from your brisket spilling all over your fries. If you want poutine, you'll have your order poutine. As for your stats, you have an average of 2 in everything, except for speed, which is governed by your roller skates trait. Remember how on ice you can build up crazy speed, but steering is kind of tricky? Well, that's a thing 24/7 with this character unless you're swimming. This can allow you to build up some amazing top speeds, something that will prove invaluable during your big quest. More on that later in the video. First, we need to cover the rest of your abilities as well as your starting gear. Your only other trait is called Graceful. You know how walking through lasers causes bad things to happen and how certain buildings have like trapdoors and such? Yeah, you're not going to be setting those off anymore with this. However, other NPCs can when you punch them into said traps, so bear that in mind as you run around. Especially since unless you got Blast Survivor, those red laser traps will still do damage to you, even if you weren't the one that set them off. Also bear in mind that this prevents you from activating all floor-based traps, not just the ones found inside buildings, but also the bear traps that can be found all over the place in the park. Just bear in mind that you are immune to activating the traps, not the status effects they may or may not inflict on you. So if a bouncer punches you in the face so hard that they inflict a slow debuff on you, that's going to be a painful endeavor in more ways than one. As for your starting gear, you start with a quick escape teleporter, which teleports you away to safety when your HP drops below 15. A useful tool to get out of death free. Not as good as Resurrection Shampoo, but that's a tad unreliable to get consistently. But let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. You also have a walkie-talkie, which can make cops attack an NPC. However, since you need to be out of sight of the cops, near your desired target, and all three of you need to be in close proximity for this to work as intended, you might end up never using it depending on how floor generation works and your general playstyle. The last item in your starting inventory is the Delivery app. Aside from consuming an inventory slot you're never getting back, this is the item you use when you want to start your big quest. Something we will cover in approximately nowish.
From where you're kneeling must seem like an 18-carat run of bad luck. Truth is, the game was rigged from the start.
Your big quest, much like my work on this channel, is called Side Hustling. In this quest, you must deliver a package to a random NPC marked on your map with an orange arrow, then return their payment to the local ATM without teleporting whatsoever, gaining money for every successful delivery. If you use teleportation whatsoever during this big quest, the package you are currently carrying will be considered shook up and not count towards your big quest, as well as fail to give you any payment for delivery whatsoever. This will also occur if you take too much damage whilst en route to your delivery target. You might think the best course of action for this quest is to scout out the floor before beginning the delivery, but if too many NPCs are killed on a floor, such as during a zombie outbreak, the quest will become uncompletable. The same holds true if the ATM explodes. Combined with your max speed surpassing most NPCs' reaction time, and I advise simply doing your big quest ASAP in order to minimize the chaos this game's floor generation naturally facilitates. Due to said chaos, I advise doing more than the minimum 4 deliveries per floor required for quest completion in order to ensure that you have a buffer in case, say, an NPC dies because a cannibal was chasing after you. Also remember that each and every single one of your deliveries is on a time limit, so speed is of the essence. Please do remember, however, that you do get bonus time upon successfully delivering a package to an NPC or returning their payment to an ATM every single time based on the amount of distance you need to cover for your next delivery. But do please keep in mind that there are no rollover minutes in this game. So if you complete a floor with 20 seconds to spare, those 20 seconds are gone now. They will not carry over as bonus time on the next floor whatsoever. Something that will help, however, is the longer status effects trait, which can elongate the timer on your big quest, since it's technically a status effect inflicted upon you due to the delivery app item, and is consequently altered by this trait. And what's your reward for doing all this? Well, if you reach the mayor's village having completed this big quest successfully, your roller skates will be faster, you'll gain extra money from deliveries, and packages won't break based on damage you take. And if most of this sounds useless to you except for the roller skates one, that's because it is. Unless you start a new game with the Courier and activate the super special abilities mutator, in which case you'll gain access to all of these boons without the hassle of needing to complete the big quest a second time. And if you're wondering why you would want to do the big quest a second time after completing it and getting the boons for its completion now with a mutator, the answer is simple: money and experience. You know, those two things that all unpaid internships promise but never give. All in all, I give the Courier a gotta go fast out of 10. If speed is the thing you care most about in a character, the Courier is undoubtedly the best option for you. However, if you desire more methodical methods to achieve your goals, the Courier is likely to leave you disappointed. That's all for now. Like the video if you did, subscribe if you don't want to miss the next character guide. I've been Ian, and this has been my Streets of Rogue character guide to the Courier. And stay tuned, the Bouncer is coming up next.